Senator John Kennedy was on the Bill Maher show the other day. And Bill Maher asked him why the Republicans and Democrats can't get together on some sort of, quote, comprehensive immigration reform, close quote. Kennedy said the problem is, with Democrats, the answer is amnesty, amnesty, amnesty. Meaning Democrats want illegal aliens to become citizens, to become voters, because as the union official who we played yesterday says, 2 out of 3 would likely vote Democrat. We're not talking about 11 million illegal aliens. That's a number that's always been given. A study by a bunch of professors put the number at 30 million, and that was before Biden allowed in 5 more million, allowed in 10 to 15 more million. You're probably talking about 40, 45 million illegal aliens who suddenly would become voters, 2/3 of whom would vote Democrat. That dog is not going to hunt. Now, a deal could be made. One of the things that happened in that exchange between Kennedy and Bill Maher is that Bill Maher talked about the percentage of the illegal aliens who've been rounded up who are in fact in the category you could call the worst of the worst. And Kennedy said 47%, which means 53% of them are not in that category. Now, when Trump ran for re-election in 2024, he said we're going to get rid of the worst of the worst of the worst. That's what people assume is going to happen. Not that 53% of them would not be the worst of the worst. I think even Democrats agree that illegal aliens who are rapists, who are murderers, who are child molesters should be removed from the country forcibly if necessary. The rip is on those who are not in that category. But I think a deal could be made if the Democrats would drop this business about granting citizenship to people who have been here illegally. And that is some sort of deal where those who've been here 5, 10, 15 years have a pathway to stay, but not citizenship. The borders are now secured, so we're not going to get any more coming in, provided we don't have a Democrat administration like the Biden administration to do a 180 on all the things that Trump has done. And if the Supreme Court agrees with Trump, and I believe that they will, that the 14th Amendment does not confer immediate citizenship to people who are in the country illegally, that means those who are here illegally who have children will not have those children become citizens and therefore become voters. Something like that could be done if the Democrats drop their demand for amnesty, but they won't do it because when they say they want illegal aliens to, quote, come out of the shadows, they mean come out of the shadows and become Democrat voters. So this is where we are. Now, once again, why any mayor, whether Democrat or Republican, or governor, whether Democrat or Republican, would be okay with the bad people who are being removed is beyond me. The DHS website posts the names, photographs, and crimes of people that removed that day. We're going to talk about the ones that were removed yesterday. And they're scary. These are some bad dudes, or as President Trump put it, some mean hombres, although not all of them are from Latin countries. And again, the number of mistakes, mistaken detentions, mistaken arrests under the Obama administration exceeded that number under the Trump administration, both in absolute numbers and per capita, meaning the percentage based on those who've been removed. And in the last 2 years of the Obama administration, 4 U.S. citizens were mistakenly deported versus none under Trump. There was no yelling, no screaming, no protests in the streets for a couple of reasons. One, their guy was doing it, so therefore they weren't in the street, going to be in the streets protesting against their guy because, after all, their guy gave them Obamacare. They were crazy about Obama. So Obama could deport a bunch of people and get away with it. They hate Donald Trump's guts, so Trump can deport half as many as Obama did, and he's called a fascist and a Nazi. And this business about affordability, we talked about this before. By any stretch, Americans are better off. Will there be individuals who are not? Of course not, but collectively the country's better off. Inflation now under 3%. Gas prices 5-year low. Mortgage rates 3-year low. GDP growth last quarter will probably end up being 5%, maybe even higher, which means people's incomes are growing faster than inflation. Egg prices down dramatically. Stock market hitting record highs. 60% of Americans own stock directly or indirectly. So it benefits everybody, even those who don't own stock, because their bosses do. But will he get credit for this? Not when, according to the Media Research Center, ABC, NBC, CBS, over 90% of the news covering Trump is negative. No love for gas prices, 5% low. Are you kidding me? Several states now where it is under $2 a gallon. Are you kidding me? Crime down. And after getting rid of 1.5 million illegal aliens, many of whom have committed violent crimes, you're telling me that's had zero effect on why the crime rate has gone down? FBI arrests up 100% compared to last year. So getting rid of gang-related illegal aliens has not had any positive effect on crime. So Trump gets no credit for the decline in crime. Could you imagine if there had been this kind of decline in crime under, Joe Biden? What the media would be saying? This man gets no credit for anything. That's why I've said many times, maybe someday they'll develop a vaccine for Trump derangement syndrome, because that's what we've got here. And that's just some things. What about negotiating the release of all the hostages, and apparently now all the remains are out of Gaza? What about Trump pressuring our European allies to reimburse us for military expense on behalf of Ukraine? No credit for that. What about setting back the Iranian nuclear program by years, if not decades? Obama said a nuclear-armed Iran is unacceptable. Biden said a nuclear-armed Iran is unacceptable. Hillary said it. Trump did something about it. No credit for that. And again, in 1 month, borders secured. No net illegal aliens in the country from the southern border in months. We were told for 4 years, either don't believe your lying eyes, the border is secured, or the best we can do is what we're doing given the lack of comprehensive immigration reform, end of quote. That's what Alejandro Mayorkas said, which is one of the reasons he was impeached. Trump comes in and the borders are secured in 1 month. 1.5 million people have self-deported. What kind of positive economic effect is that going to have on housing, on rents? It is stunning what this man has done in less than a year and gets virtually no credit for it. And now that the Clintons are refusing to testify about Epstein, maybe that will be off the table as well.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.